Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name's Evan. I'm joined with my three good friends, Ethan, Ryan, and Joey. And today we're doing a little bit different of a video. We're talking about the Backrooms movie. Came out a few weeks ago, new horror movie. But before we dive in, I'm going to give a little bit of a kind of a breakdown of what the movie is, and then we're each going to go through our review of the movie, go through a few scenes we liked, and answer some questions. So let's dive right in. So Backrooms is the new horror movie produced by A24. Directed by Kane Parsons, who was only 20 years old, making his film debut off of a short film he created in 2022. It is starring, let's see if I say these names right, Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Renziver. I don't know if I got that correct, but we'll see. The budget was around $10 million, and as of today, we're recording this on Wednesday, June 10th. It has made $216 million globally and $138 million domestically, making it A24's highest grossing movie ever, which is pretty shocking because A24 has been a pretty legendary run this last few years. But little plot synopsis is this, set in 1990, following Clark, who is a failed architect who owns a furniture store, as he one night discovers a hidden doorway to the back rooms in his store's basement. And Clark's therapist, Mary Klein, is dragged in to find him after he goes missing, only to find the horrors of what truly lies in the depth of the endless rooms. So we'll start off with the reviews, Joey. You said you wanted to start us off. So what did you think of Backrooms? What was your letterbox review of?
Yeah, so I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was pretty good. There are some things that I'll get into real quick, but I basically said to start out, there's some really good parts to this movie. But that being said, I'm not sure if the movie was vague because of I found it kind of vague, but I didn't know if that was because of this laziness by the director or if it was just like too genius that I just didn't understand it. But we'll get into that later. And yeah, pacing wise, it was kind of all over the place. The beginning felt kind of slow. The character development was better as it went along, but at the beginning, pretty slow. But then it ramped it up at the end. VHS shots were great, and I felt like they found ways to make it very unique instead of just the typical found footage that you see with other movies. And you can tell that Kane Parsons was more familiar with those found footage parts than other standard filming techniques. But then overall, the cinematography and the colors were pretty good. And also the plot, kind of incomplete, but maybe it's because it was supposed to be supplemented by the YouTube series. And for scariness wise, it being marketed as a horror movie, it had its moments, but overall, not that scary in my opinion. So yeah, Kim Parsons definitely has potential, but maybe just a few more years and he'll have become a great director.
He's younger than us, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
like
That
making a
that is insane.
blockbuster movie.
Yeah, that is actually insane. Yeah, I guess I can go next. So yeah, I also gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Going into it, I was pretty excited because I think the Backrooms is just such an interesting concept, and there's a lot to unpack. Well, I guess there's not even really much background official lore to it, so he really had like free reign to do whatever he wanted. Um, so going into it, I kind of thought it was going to be more simple. I guess they went really more complex with the plot, which was interesting, but also a bit strange at times. Like I enjoyed the movie, but I thought like the plot almost got a bit off the rails in the end. Like Joey said, I think the found footage parts were definitely where it shone the most. And those were the parts where I actually like was getting a little antsy and a little afraid when I was watching. But the normally filmed parts of the movie I thought weren't as great, but I also think maybe it's just because I was used to his YouTube videos where he shot it like that, so it just kinda reminded me of that part as well. I thought the characters were good. I really liked, the store owner, Clark, I think it was. Um, but I thought he was a really interesting character, and, the therapy sessions, like, that he went to, I thought was interesting, so you got to learn a bit more of his backstory and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I really liked the first half of the movie, honestly, even if it was a bit slower because it was more simple, I guess, and you like didn't really know what was going on. You didn't know that many answers, and once it got to the end, and we'll get into that later, but it just gets pretty strange and pretty off the wall. So to the point where I was like, I don't even know what's going on, you know? But I thought it was very ambitious, to put it that way. But yeah, I still thought it was a fun movie. I'm not super scary, which I didn't mind because I watched Obsession right after. But but
Crazy.
overall, I think it was a fun movie and like an important movie to make, especially because it's like a guy that came right off of YouTube. So I think it's pretty cool to be able to have people just coming straight off of the internet like that.
Yeah, I did the same thing, 3.5. I actually enjoyed the movie a lot, even though I don't like horror movies at all. I actually enjoyed this, and I don't think it was too scary. They had its parts where I was afraid, but it was like it was good. I thought the VHS shots were like the best part. I loved when that was happening on the screen, and I that was when I was most afraid because I was just waiting for jump scares. That was the most nerve-wracking part. Um, I loved the first and second act. I was ready to be like, when I was watching, I was like, yo, this movie might be one of my favorite horror movies. Like, this could be like a top movie for me. Like, I was ready to get like 4.5, maybe a 5 star. But then the third act, I kind of lost me. I feel like they kind of went off the rails and like just got like weird. I like what Ethan said. I was expecting they were just gonna go simple and just keep it kind of like the YouTube videos and keep it nice and simple. But again, like maybe what Joey said, it was too like that. I just didn't understand it, but it was genius because I didn't understand it. I don't know, but I just felt like they kind of lost the plot a little bit. Um, some of the scenes got like weird, but it still was good. I still enjoyed it. This I like the and we'll talk about it later. The Even though I wanted like the original entity to kind of be like the main villain, the Clark entity, it was cool. I thought it looked good. It looked scary, but I was not expecting that. It got like really weird, but still a solid movie. I definitely enjoyed it still, but we'll talk more about it.
Yeah, because in the short film, it's like that weird stick guy
Yeah, just like
thing that
yeah,
Yeah, I was
blocks the
Yeah.
expecting to see that at some point. Yeah, you
yeah.
didn't.
yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
I wonder why
Yeah.
he's so
Hey,
sad.
can we give a shout out to the basketball player though? It's two good horror movie roles for him. He was the
Yeah,
alien, Alien
he
Romulus.
was the
Was he that?
disgusting alien in Alien Romulus, and then
Yeah,
he
I heard
was
that. He
Captain
played
Clark.
this dude in this movie? Is that him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
No
That
that's
was
what
him.
way.
his name was.
I didn't know that. Isn't he the
Um,
I did
French
not.
guy? He's like from France.
Robert Bobra Kutsky. I don't know, but yeah, he's in two movies, Alien Romulus and Backrooms.
Yeah, I
So
saw something about him being an
he
alien.
knows
I never
his
saw the
he knows
movie.
his
Bro, I
role.
did not know that.
He's 7'7".
It's
So
crazy.
yeah,
Wow.
he knows his role. But yeah, he looked freaky in Alien Romulus. I did not like that. Um, but it's funny. I think this is one of the few movies that everybody that I follow on Letterboxd has it at the same rating, pretty much, all at like a 3.5, and all three of you pretty much had the same. You know what you liked, what you didn't like. You know the third act was a little off the rails, but for the most part, you know you liked it, which is rare. You know because usually we have some sort of differing opinion, um, but yeah, overall, I gave it a 3.5 as well. I watched it here a few days ago, and I really enjoyed it. I'm like Ryan and you guys. I don't really like horror movies. I don't really watch them. I watched Sinners last year. That was my one horror movie, and checked this one off the box for my one horror movie of the year. So I'm good to go. Um, but yeah, I didn't really find it super scary. We had watched the short film together a few months ago, and I wasn't super scared about that. It was more just like suspense, which is what I thought. But overall, I think the characters were really good. I like the acting between. Um, I'm not even going to try to say their names again because they both have really hard names to say. But both of the main actors, I thought, did a really good job. I think outside of Sinners, I think it's probably the best visually looking horror movie that I've seen. I really liked. We were accustomed to seeing A24 usually has pretty good visuals, but the yellow back rooms really pop, and the scenes that are kind of outside, the sky is really blue and the colors really pop out, which I think is always good in movies and sometimes is lost. But I pretty much agree with most of the things that you guys already mentioned. I really like the plot. The third act kind of got a little weird when I kind of left the movie theater, kind of being like, that was it. Like, what in the world just happened? So I had a lot of questions. So I had to watch like a recap video of someone who knows a lot more than I do, who kind of cleared a few things up. But yeah, I was really confused with a lot of things after, because it felt like it was a weird ending, and they didn't really like there wasn't a lot of, I guess, background to what everything was, which we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. They kind of just throw you into the world and expect you to kind of know what's going on. And I think if you followed Kane Parsons and you followed the Backrooms lore and all that stuff, you probably were in better shape than we were, kind of going in blind. But overall, I think it's a good movie. Like Ethan said, I think it's definitely worth the watch and definitely, should be made. And I'm interested. I'm kind of hoping that he does more of these. Because I think he has. I think there's, from what I've read on the internet, I think there's a lot of lore that goes around. And I think, with the Backrooms being basically endless, I think you could do a lot of cool stories with that. Even though I'm not the biggest horror fan, I would be interested for him to tell a few more stories and kind of build the world a little bit more, because I left being kind of like, oh, like that's all we got. Um, but overall, like I said, it wasn't super scary. There were a few parts where I was like in the theater, I was like, ooh, like that's not good, or kind of caught me off guard. But I never like yelled or like got jump scared or anything like that. But there's a few like kind of weird parts that, something jumped out or something was crawling out of the floor or whatever, and I was just like, ooh. But overall, for a guy who's 20 years old, I can't even think of making a feature film like that at 20 years old. And to, I mean, both of the actors that he was directing, both have been, I'm pretty sure both have been nominated for Academy Awards. So that's crazy to be, as a 20-year-old, to be working with A24, having that big of a budget, and working with two pretty big actors, and being able to, like Ethan said, really put a project from YouTube into a full feature length film, I think is pretty crazy. And I'm curious to see if that's going to be kind of the new modern trend, where you see people like Curry Barker, who did Obsession, who started with TikTok and YouTube, and Kane Parsons, who started with YouTube, kind of becoming that next wave of directors. But overall, really liked the movie. I thought it was good. And even not being a horror fan, I still really enjoyed it. So let's dive into some of these scenes. We'll start off with the opening scene of the movie, which really, kind of gets you right into the world, gets you into the movie. It's a POV shot, like you guys said, kind of a VHS, like it was in the short film, of what we later know is an async employee or worker or something, kind of exploring the back rooms, and then eventually encountering the entity, and then ending up, probably, I'm assuming, dying from that. But what were you guys' thoughts of that scene? I know you guys liked the POV shots. How did you think that was to kind of get the movie going?
I loved it.
I
I
love it.
thought it was a great opening. It got me hooked right away, and I think it set up the movie really well. I was like, all right, got intense, like a little nervous. I was like, again, the VHS shots were my favorite, and I really felt like even the opening scene, I was just waiting. All right, where's the entity? When is it going to come out? And it did a good job to kind of set the scene. So, again, I wish there was more of that, but I understand you can't just do the whole movie as that kind of angle. But it was a great opening for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so fun, like in horror movies like this, when like you don't know anything, you're like, what is happening? Like you don't know what thing's gonna look like. Yeah, I thought the POV opening was really cool. And starting from that, because also as the movie goes, you kind of can look back on that and being like, oh, that's like who that was, or that's what was going on, even though you don't know in the beginning. But yeah, like I said, I think the found footage is where, like, really where this film shines. So I thought that was a really cool opening. I liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the opening too. Like, he did a great job building suspense there. And also, we might be able to touch on this again when we talk about what is the Backrooms and where did it come from. But apparently, that found footage, I think, what was it, like 3 years before or something, like it was earlier footage,
Yeah.
but it was still Pirate Clark
Mhm.
as the entity. So somehow he was there before even Clark entered. But yeah, definitely the fact that they didn't show it like explicitly though creates a mystery
Wait,
once
the
you're coming back
entity
for more.
was Pirate Clark in the opening scene, or was it a different entity?
Yeah,
It was?
Did
it
you
was
tell
Pirate
those
Clark.
parts?
If you
They don't
if you
show
slow
you,
it
but it is
if you
in
slow it
Clark's
down,
Backrooms
well, if
because
you
I didn't
slow it
know.
down, you can
I
see the
thought it
peg
was
leg.
a
yeah.
different entity.
I didn't know for sure either. I just knew.
Well, there's
all
in
dude.
one of the scenes, I think he's running down the hallway. You know that banner that's like kind of half in the ceiling and half coming out. It was only for a few seconds, but that banner is in like the back of the store, and so that's kind of what tips you off to it being
Okay, I have
Clark's.
to rewatch the opening scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you can also see like when he gets attacked, you can see the pirate peg leg.
Really?
Yeah, it's stuff you don't really catch until
That is-
unless you, like
That
slow
is
it down and watch it
interesting.
again.
Maybe Backrooms is just like outside of time. You know, I don't know.
Because I thought,
Yeah,
don't you? Because that was 3 years before, right?
Something like that. It was
Something
3
like
years
that.
before.
I thought you need to be able to become an entity. You have to be in the back rooms.
we can get into that later.
I don't know.
Right? That's what I
Well,
heard.
yeah,
So
we
I'm
can-
a little confused
We'll
here
talk
now.
some theories. But yeah, that was something I didn't pick up until I watched someone breaking it down like frame by frame, and I saw that I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool detail. But yeah, I like the scene. You know, I think one of the scariest parts of horror movies is when they do those POV shots, because it really makes you feel like you're there and you don't know what's happening because the camera is moving pretty much with you, and so you can't really see. Like usually in horror movies, you can see something creeping in the background, and you kind of know, all right, this thing is going to jump out, or you kind of can get the feel. But when it's a POV shot, you're looking at what the person's seeing, and so if they don't, if he's running and you can't see what's behind him, that adds a lot of the suspense. And there's a lot of good horror movies that use that POV tactic. But yeah, I think it really it just went pretty much just going immediately. It didn't like kind of slowly build and then have, a scary action. It threw you right into it, and kind of let you know like, hey, something bad is in these back rooms and something is lurking, and really just kind of immediately puts you into kind of fight or flight, like Ryan said, where you're waiting for something to come out every single time he turns the corner in the room, because you've already seen a guy basically die to the entity already. And they did a really good job, creating horror suspense, and I think the sound design of him kind of breathing and the quick breath and the panicking and the music, and then you hear him kind of when he goes to the radio, he's like, "Is anyone there? Is anyone there?" And he's like, "Guys, come on! Like, is anyone there?" And then he hears something and he freaks out and then runs away. And then later we kind of know more about that scene, but yeah, I thought it was really good to kind of throw you into the action immediately, kind of get you alert on the edge of your seat, and then you can kind of do the exposition, kind of build the characters up later, which I think they did a good job with, kind of. And knowing the end of the movie, it adds more, knowing that company has been doing stuff for years, it seems like, and have obviously lost a handful of people doing it. So it kind of goes full circle at the end once you kind of realize who that person actually was.
Yeah.
But the next scene, I think that was pretty that we should hit, is the therapy scene when we first get really into Mary. When we first learn Mary, we learn about the trauma that Clark has in his psyche and kind of their back and forth relationship as therapist and patient. But I thought it was really good, just kind of when they redid the acting scene when she pretends to be his wife, and he kind of pretends like the night that they split or whatever, and he gets pretty angry and stuff, and she's kind of and she answers and keeps kind of pushing him until he finally breaks, and then she says like, "It's okay, like you're valid to feel that way." But then that ends up switching later in the movie, which we'll talk about. But I thought that was a good scene to kind of bring both of their characters and really immediately kind of set each person's personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was important kind of like to set, who the characters were, because obviously like when he's in therapy and you can tell he's holding like a lot of weight from a lot of past decisions and past relationships, and it kind of gives you like windows into his mind and like almost foreshadowing about how he's gonna make decisions later on because of like what he's dealt with. So I thought that was pretty cool just to be able to understand him later in the movie and like as the movie goes on, like what he might be holding in his mind and like how he's probably thinking about things or what might snap, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was it was deep. It was also kind of funny. I don't know. He really seemed like he didn't like the his ex-wife. He was very adamant about it that she wasn't a great person. And I thought I don't know, dude. A lot of therapy sessions go like that. You just let it all out, scream, pretend that person's your wife. I don't know. It was interesting, but it definitely set the characters up of what Clark went through. And also paints like I don't know. I mean, we don't learn about like what happened between him and his wife, but it does make seem like Clark isn't like a great guy and he's a little crazy. So it does lead into the ending of kind of why he turns, but we can talk about that later.
Joey, anything?
I got to be honest. Maybe it was because I had like work right before it, and I went late at night. But that in my review when I said it had a slow start, I was kind of talking about like this
Yeah,
scene. Not gonna
fair
lie,
enough. That makes sense.
I don't know. I almost fell asleep during it.
That's all right. It happens. But yeah, I think it really, kind of like Ryan said, it really shows that it shows why he's kind of like he is, because you see him, alone, and you see him kind of, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of people around him, and then you kind of see why, because he split from his wife, and then yeah, that starts the cracks in the foundation of what happens in the ending. I think that was a good way to introduce both characters. In the next scene, when he first enters the back rooms, he's looking around, and then he comes out and he drags in his two employees, the two young people. Which, can we talk about? He pretty much immediately just led them to their deaths. Like, he wasn't like
Yeah.
they both died like pretty quickly, and he was like, no, like we're good. Like, they're like, what are we doing? He's like, research. Like, it's fine, totally fine. Even though there was so many red flags, I was like, stop signs, creepy, like the one like animatronic thing or whatever that was like talking, like weird stuff that I would have been like, nah, like I'm getting out of here. But that he was like, no, it's okay, like it's totally fine. And then the guy just dies, and he's like, oh shoot. And then she ends up dying as well. But so
No,
yeah, really
I
scummy
agree.
move by him.
Especially even like at the
Yeah.
even though he didn't know there was an entity in it, like there were so many signs, and he heard like noise the first time he went to the back rooms, so he knew there was someone else in there, but he didn't know like what it was. But he was just like, who cares? And let me bring these two coworkers with me, and he was like, let me send the guy down, and I'll let him go down to the tunnel. Which
Yeah.
I don't know. I know like you don't know for a fact like there's something bad in there, but it just seemed like he just like you gotta just tell at that point, like there's gotta be something there. And he was just like, "Now let's send this guy down." But if you were the coworkers, would you go in if the boss is like, "Hey, I want research," and he shows you this back rooms? I think I would have left.
There's no way I'm going down there.
Dude,
I
I
would have
don't
been like,
know.
"Yeah,
Like,
hey, I don't know, like that's so sus."
if he led me and the picture is like, yeah, if he first, I would be really sus at first, but like, what if right when you walk in the back rooms, I'm like, wait, this is legit. Like, what?
I mean, wait,
I
this is
would probably,
cool. Like,
I
let
would
me
be
say.
curious. I'd probably be walking around. Like,
He did say he was going to pay them though,
He did
he
say that.
did,
It
yeah.
Right.
was worth it.
yeah.
They never saw that money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think even when you start pretty much like tying you with a rope, I'm like, all right, guys, this is I don't know
Like,
what you like. This
not
is
even
getting
like,
weird.
oh, like there's something bad down there, but like I don't know, like what if the rope breaks? I can't get back up. I'm stuck down there.
Yeah, you're just
Like,
stuck down
yeah.
there.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's send you down.
Like whenever somebody gets tied in with a rope in a movie, they always get killed.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
always bad.
what was with the clothes down there and like the bad smell? That's weird. I was like,
yeah.
like,
So
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
that-
it was like so. Yeah, we can talk about that later with the what are the back rooms. But yeah, it was like one of his shirts that he wore like the day before was down there.
Yeah, if I would have saw that, I would have been like, heck no, like, get me back up. Like, this
Yeah,
I was
place
tripping,
looks
bro.
bad.
the moment like someone else says like something smells bad, you automatically think like dead bodies. You know, you like there's someone rotting down there. I knew that like that's like the telltale sign in any horror movie. If something smells bad in like some mysterious place, it's bad. Like something's gonna be bad. I knew it.
Yeah. Well, maybe my eyes might have been playing tricks with me, but I swear I saw like a head or something like in one of those.
No, you did. I
piles.
Well,
saw
that
it
was
too.
There was.
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
the
it
It was
was
a
no,
cutout.
that,
it was the
it was the
cutout of like
cutout.
that
Yeah,
thing that
Dude,
makes
okay.
noise.
it was like
I think it's cut
the
off.
video, the
That freaked
like,
me out.
try
I
to
saw that, I
capture
was
the
like,
entity.
oh, I saw
Yeah,
that. I
that
was
was
like,
crazy.
Everyone in the
Yeah.
theater like noticed it. And
Yeah, they were
like,
gasped when they saw
everyone was like,
that. They're like, oh.
yeah.
yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh no.
Dude,
Yeah, I
if
turned to
that
my
thing
friend
moved, I
immediately.
would have freaked out. I would have
I
freaked out.
know. I would have been. That would have lost me. But I turned to my friend immediately. I was like, "This guy's definitely gonna die." Like he just looked like he was all confident. He's like, "Oh yeah, let me go down here. Like this would be sick." And the girlfriend's like, "No, no, please don't do it. Don't do it." He's like, "Oh no, no, it's good. It's good." And I was like, "Yeah, this guy's totally dying. Like this guy just has all the makeups of being the guy who dies first. It's always the overconfident person who's like, "Oh no, I'm just gonna go," who dies first in horror movies. But yeah, when he got dragged back down that like slope or whatever it was, and then they fall in, and then you just see like the trail of blood, and then
Yeah, it was crazy.
like the thing open. I was like, oh
Yeah,
we're
it was
about
like
to
a
get
thing. That was wild.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
we're about to
really
get
cool shot
going.
too. Had he had like the camera fall down the slide too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. I like that was pretty
Yeah.
creative. I like that. That was
I,
neat. I was shocked, honestly, how fast like in the movie. I thought it was gonna take a little longer.
Yeah, it was like he was like in there for like 5 minutes. And then
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
I thought maybe I didn't see it wrong, but did he have the rope tied to around his waist or just the pants? Because I thought it was just the pants, and I was like, bro, just take your pants off. I know you think you got like drip shorts on, but just take them off and you'd be good. But I didn't know, like, was it around his waist? I thought it was just around like his belt. I was like, just take your pants off and you're fine.
Yeah.
Just like pull it off. I was like, what are you
I
doing?
think it was around his waist.
I think it was the waist.
I thought it was
It's
just
around
around
his
his bro.
waist.
You're
Bro.
selling right now so hard. I just take the pants off, you'd be fine. But I guess maybe it was around his waist.
Well, also, how could Clark not get the knot undone? He was like,
Yeah, I know.
It took like 2 minutes to try to undo the knot. I was like, bro, how tight did you make that?
Yeah,
He
that's
couldn't even
crazy,
figure it
bro.
out. And then
Crazy.
drag both of them in. Well, yeah, and she like disappeared pretty quickly too. I didn't even know she was dead until we get to that end scene and they show you.
Yeah, that was
But
pretty
I thought
big.
she was just like, I guess you could assume.
Well, she was like trapped behind like the glass wall or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was weird.
freaky.
Yeah, that was a weird
when the
scene.
thing shows up behind him and she's yelling. And
Yeah, dude, when it picks it up.
And it picks the camera up and it shows it. I was like,
That's a cool part. I like that scene.
Yeah,
I know.
that was good.
Like, oh.
That was pretty neat.
But yeah, that scene was really like it's about to get real bad scene. Like stuff's about to go really wrong. I mean, yeah, and it really, because we had seen the entity like kill somebody in the beginning, but you didn't see like it wasn't like gruesome or anything, but you saw like the trail of blood and him being dragged away, which is usually a good horror movie trope. And yeah, that kind of got you alert, and you're like, oh, it's not going to be good from here on out. But then he just like another part of him being just a terrible person. Him and the girl were like okay for the moment, and he just dips into the wall and just leaves her. He didn't even try to be like, hey, I found an opening, let's go. He just left her. He just dipped and was like, I'm just going for myself. And then I was like, bro, like, I know she's an employee or whatever, but you got to be like, hey, follow me. Like, let's try to get out together. He just left her. He was like, screw you, and just went. I was like,
she was trying to find her boyfriend or whatever. She was like trying to go after him. And I think he saw that. He was like, heck nah.
He's like, I ain't going.
He's like, he's a lost cause. I'm leaving.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. I was like, bro, why is he just leaving her? He didn't even try. He was just like, I'm going.
He's definitely a selfish character for sure.
Yeah. I think one of the scariest scenes, which I think it was shortly after that, or maybe it was before. I think it was shortly after that, when he walked into that room with the Christmas tree, and it was only lit with the tree.
That's my favorite
And there
scene.
was,
That
like,
was so scary.
Bodies coming out of the floor. I was like, oh my gosh. And then you see, which I don't know if it was, I'm assuming it was one of the still life characters that we see at the end that kind of pops out
Yeah.
and like chases him. I was like, oh no.
I think it was the lady, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Dude,
I
that
thought
was
for a
the
split
scariest part
moment
for
that
me.
there were like zombies in the back rooms or something. I was like,
yeah,
what is going on?
like the wheelchair guy.
Dude, that
Yeah.
was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was the first scene that I was like, I kind of got scared by. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
because you see like the tree is only thing lighting, and then you see like the bodies coming out of the floor, and then you're like, oh, something's not going to be good. And then he turns, and it's just there. And it just
Yeah.
like he screams. I was like, oh nah.
I did not expect that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a good scene because it captures kind of like the spirit of the back rooms being like these liminal spaces from your childhood. And it's like
Yeah.
you go down the stairs like late at night and you see the Christmas tree there, and that's like the only lights in the house.
But yeah.
when it seems like that would be like a safe space, but instead that was one of the worst spaces to be in.
Yeah. That was
that was probably my favorite scene. That was a great scene. I was like, oh, that was the one where I kind of like jumped because I wasn't expecting someone to pop out.
No. Well, that's the first time you actually like see, I feel like, a person and like a creature or whoever, like
Yeah.
a bad person
Yeah.
in the back rooms, you know, or like whoever the like the villain is of the back rooms, you know, the antagonist. But yeah, I didn't expect I didn't expect to see that. I thought I was just gonna be like the tall dude, you know, like you see from the YouTube videos. And I saw that and I was like, was that a zombie? Like what was that?
Kinda
I
was
still don't know what it
zombie.
was. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about but like, what are those people? It's like memories or something.
I think yeah, I think I'll talk about that when we get into like
Yeah,
the
we can talk
what is
about
the
it later.
back
I
rooms,
don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
exactly they are.
but yeah, they are kind of weird. Is that when
Weird,
you guys
yeah.
talk about like the third act being weird? Is that like the main reason why? Just because those people are kind of odd and you don't really know anything about them,
It's
No, I
it's
like
not that
that.
or is that part
No,
of it?
it's
yeah.
it's just they don't explain much.
Okay, yeah.
The dinner scene is
Not
where it got
that, just
That
like
really
scenes when I
odd.
got weird, and
Let's
I liked the
talk about
Christmas
the
part
dinner
when I saw.
scene,
Like,
and
I
then
didn't.
we can
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about the dinner scene. I thought the dinner scene was pretty good, even though it was weird. I thought it did a lot. So set the scene. Clark captures Mary, which I thought was I was confused by that at the beginning. And he ties her up to a chair, and you see this like fat bearded guy with like 10 eyes sitting next to him. You see the weird. Is it the wheelchair guy in the back?
Yeah.
The wheelchair
Yeah.
guy. And then you see the redhead in the back as well, and he's talking. He's like, "Yeah, I love it down here," and all this stuff. And then he said, "Oh, let's eat." And then he takes like the stomach
this
from
part
him. I was like, "Oh, that was disgusting." But I think it's really where he opens up and he's like, he's like, "I don't want to change. I like it down here. He just accepts that. I guess he likes the bad parts of himself, and that's kind of when Mary's tone changes to being like a accepting therapist, to being like, no, like you're really screwed up, like you don't take accountability, like kind of going at him personally. And then stuff goes downhill after that. But I thought that the switch up for her mindset and him kind of being like, I like it here, like I don't want to change. And then she basically says like, you don't have to. And then when he says that, that's when the big Captain Clark comes and then eventually ends up killing him, which was also crazy. What did you guys think of that scene? Because I personally really liked it. I thought it was good, even though it was
dinner scene in general.
odd. Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was just really. I thought that's where the movie really took a tonal shift. Where you're like, oh, like this is not at all what I thought was gonna happen, or like what it was gonna be. Especially like the eating part was I was like, what is going on? I thought the character design, I thought it was honestly pretty cool. I liked the whole idea of them being like memories, like recopied of like real things. Kind of like how the back rooms are themselves, like the rooms. But I thought that was cool. Yeah, the whole eating part, and then that was odd. And then, but I thought like the talking, like the dialogue was cool. I like the dialogue in that part between the therapist and the guy, where like he almost like heard what he wanted to hear, like, "Oh, wait, I don't have to change, like, I'm chilling." And also, like, the therapist is, like, not in the atmosphere of her job anymore, so she doesn't really have to, as a therapist, you can't tell your patient, like, what's wrong with you, or, like, like,
Yeah.
you can't say these things, like, even if you're thinking, like, "Dang, this person's, like, a little crazy," you can't say that? So now that she's, like, out of that frame and she realizes, like, because she's trying to basically get her way out of this, like, "Oh, we can fix this, like, we can blah, blah, blah," and then she realizes, like, that's not gonna work, and he's not gonna let it go. He's like, "I'm just gonna tell him the truth, what I think," which I thought was cool. But I thought the part where the entity comes and you really get, like, a full image of what he is, I thought that his design was really cool. It was really funny. It was, like, funny looking, but still creepy. I don't know. But I thought that was cool, and, the whole biting scene, I was, like, not expecting that. I was like, "What is he doing?" I thought he was gonna give him a hug. I was like, "What is
It was
going
a
on?"
bad
This is, like,
hug.
a weird relationship between, him and his tall guy, like, replication or whatever. But once that happened, I was like, I don't know. I thought it was a good scene. I just thought it was very strange and, like, totally changed the tone of the movie.
Yeah, I would
Yeah, I
agree.
thought it was yeah.
Yeah, Joe, you can
Go
go.
ahead. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a great scene as well. Yeah, like you mentioned, the dialogue that was great, and it also they did a lot. Like a lot of dialogue was said, but you can actually learn about a lot about the back rooms, even if they don't explicitly say it. Like I feel like with this movie, they do a lot of like showing but not telling when it comes to like what the back rooms are, which we'll get into pretty soon. And just like another thing, like the character of Clark, about how he decides to not change. I feel like that was the reason he met his demise after that, because it seems like after he said like we don't have to change, you know, big pirate Clark decides to come in for a little bite. So, so yeah, overall great scene, definitely tonal shift as you said.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't expecting it was a good scene, but I just didn't expect it. I thought it was gonna go a different route. And I mean it's I still don't fully understand like the beard guy and then the redhead and like what actually they are. If they're like alive or if they're like I don't know. But it was one of the creepy parts is when he cuts the redhead's hair off and then puts it on Mary's head
Well,
to, like,
I forgot
That
about
reenact,
that part. That was
like, her
wild,
life.
yeah.
That I
Uh,
thought was really I thought it was, like it was because I was like, "Oh, this guy's a psycho."
yeah.
But it was scary, and I thought that was a good touch that they added, and then he was like, "Alright, let me reenact, like, the dinner table scene." That was really good. And what Ethan said, I loved the design of Pirate Clark. I thought it was, like it looked really good and looked like an entity. So I have a problem with that. I didn't think that's what the entities were. I thought it was just like a stick or whatever. So it kind of like threw me off. But yeah, when he came in, I was like, oh snap! And I thought him and like Clark were like boys, and then he just took the bite, and I was like, whoa, okay. I thought they were. He was like, "Don't worry, Mary. Like, I know him. Like, we're good." And I was like, "Oh, never mind. Just
Word was not good.
was not good." And then just ate him, and bro got cooked. And then
Yeah.
that was
luckily
funny.
Mary escaped. But
Yeah. Piggybacking off of what you guys said, I do think, like you said, the character design, because he, like you said, Ethan, he kind of looks funny. So at first you think he's not super threatening because we don't know at that part that he is the entity from the beginning and that he's the thing walking around. We really don't know that. And compared to the other people in the scene that have like the 10 billion eyes, he looks kind of normal. But yeah, then once he takes a bite out of his shoulder, you're like, oh, this is what we've been running from this whole time. But so I thought, I like that point that you guys made. But it is definitely a tonal shift because like you guys said at the beginning, the plot's really simple, and then it gets kind of weird. Like the whole dinner scene is really like there's a lot of good stuff in it, but I do think that yes, like from a base view, it is weird. Like having these three people that, like Ryan said, we don't really know where they come from or who they are. We kind of infer, we know that the redhead's probably his wife. We kind of infer that once he cuts the hair off and puts it on Mary, which was a crazy scene as well. but we don't really know the other two guys. Then we starts eating from the guy's stomach. That was like, that seems weird. Like that, I don't know if that needed to be in there. So yeah, it's really weird, but it's also kind of eerie because you kind of feel, because you're kind of like, a, she's like tied up, she doesn't know what's happening, and then you see these weird people around, and you don't know. I got jumped when, he tells the girl to like turn the lights on and she doesn't. So I was like, okay, these things aren't moving. And then the wheelchair guy like turns the light on in the
Dude,
back.
yeah,
I
that's what
was
I
like,
was thinking.
oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were gonna move. Then I saw it move. I was like, oh
Mhm.
no. And then when Captain Clark walks in, the girl just
Just
dips.
dip.
She like sprints out of there. I was like, oh, and you hear her like screaming. And I was like, oh, like that kind of, when they moved, I was kind of like felt uneasy. I was like, that's a little scary. But I think when I was watching the kind of the breakdown of what in the world was happening during that scene, because I was confused as you guys were. The guy said a really cool thing, which, if the redhead was, portraying his wife, which I believe it was, he said the reason that she ran was because the entity is Clark's like evil
Mm,
side, and so like their fight, his alcoholism, his
yeah.
rage, his anger. So that's what she sees when she sees the entity. And so I think that's why she ran, because she saw like that bad side of him, which I thought was a cool thing, which I don't know if that's what he intended, but I think it makes sense.
No, that would make a lot of sense.
Um,
That would explain why. Because I was like, I don't know why she's like, maybe she was like afraid of the entity, but I think that would make more sense is because it is technically Clark and she's probably afraid of like the bad side of him and like
yeah,
probably experienced abuse. It sounded like Clark wasn't like a great guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was happening
yeah,
in their marriage if she like was running.
yeah. But I think they do a really good job with Clark's progression throughout the movie, as he starts kind of as a guy that you kind of root for,
Yeah.
because he's, all the crap that's happened to him. His wife left him, he's homeless, he's alone. You're kind of like, dang, like this guy sucks.
Hmm.
Like this sucks. Like I want to see him kind of get somewhere. But then he really becomes the villain once he gets consumed by the backrooms, and he's unwilling to reconcile with his past trauma and accept that he's the reason why he's in this place. He hurt the people close to him and has distanced himself, and he's the root cause of his life spiraling. And then I think when, like you said, when he says like we don't have to change to Captain Clark, his entity. I think him getting eaten by that is symbolic of him morphing with the darkness and the worst parts of himself, and becoming the person that he truly is inside. When he says, I don't want to change, he truly is that bad person. And it fully engulfs him, leading to his death and the death of others. And now he is fully the entity, and everything bad that is in his life and his past and everything that's bad in him. Basically, his inner demons come out as Captain Clark. And so I thought that was kind of a good wrap for his whole thing, just seeing him basically being consumed by his worst self, which I thought
That
was
it was interesting to
Yeah.
see like he does start off as like kind of the like good guy. You root for him. You're like, I thought that's what it was. Like he's the good guy. We're gonna see him try to escape the back rooms, figure it out. And then to find out like he is kind of the antagonist and like he is the one of the bad guys. Whether you separate him from the entity, like he is like one of the villains in like the movie. So it's interesting to see his character development.
yeah. And then we get straight to the ending scene where Mary escapes. The entity is chasing her. She goes through a bunch of different rooms. They end up at the basically floor of the furniture store, and then she ultimately, I guess, defeats him. She doesn't like kill him, but she gets away at least, and then gets taken by the async people and questioned, and we really don't know what happens after that. But what did you guys think of the chase scene and the fights, and then kind of the wrap up with async kind of connecting a few dots, but still leaving a lot of things open ended? I felt.
See. I thought honestly the chase scene was like one of my favorite parts of the movie. I thought it was really fun. I just love chase scenes in movies. Like you just feel like the anxiety of it, you know? and that thing was really creepy. And it was like the fact that he was so tall and he just could cover ground, and you could hear like that pirate, like the wooden thing, hitting the ground, bro. That was creepy, and like it was cool to also you almost got like a tour of the back rooms. Like the houses part was really interesting because it showed that earlier in the movie. Remember when like her looking at is that her like childhood home, right? And
Yeah.
and also like all those scenes with like was that her when she was a little child and her mom like
I think
being
so.
crazy or yeah, I totally forgot about that till right now. But yeah, so seeing like all because I feel like earlier we got to see Clark like see like like weird rooms based on his like rooms in his life, but then we got to see like hers, you know. Um, and then another really cool thing is I liked when she made it to the middle when it was like she looked and it was like the big, you know, like empty like oblivion where you could see all the other back rooms like
Hmm.
um layers because I remember seeing a clip of something like that years ago. So it was cool that they like kind of paid homage to that. I don't know if Kane Parsons made that video or someone else did because I feel like it's pretty old that I saw it a long time ago. But it was pretty cool to see that make it in that part of the back rooms. But yeah, I kind of like how they left it open ended. So you just don't really know exactly what happened. But um, I was also wondering when that older guy who like kept, you know, saw Clark on
Hmm.
the camera and like he was gonna come at some point. Um, I kind of wish he played more of a role because they kind of hyped it up a little bit. Like, oh, this guy like he's gonna come in and do something, you don't know. And he kind of like never really did until the end. He just came in and was like, hey, like I'm part of AC, you know. Um, I thought I could have done more with that, but other than that, I thought that honestly it was great.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
like you mentioned with the ASIC guy, um, you mentioned him like possibly coming in and like doing something. It seems like most movies would have him come in and just like explain everything. But like as you said, definitely like left it open ended, which I don't know how I feel about that because he has mentioned he's going to make more Backrooms movies, so it could have just been a way to leave something open for potential sequels. But at the same time, then it kind of fits with the like mysterious vibe of the Backrooms being unexplained. So yeah,
Yeah. Because he kind of explains, he's like, I don't really even know what this is. So he doesn't even know, you know?
Yeah.
it
It is
does
weird that
give
he kind of just idly watches and doesn't intervene on
Yeah.
anything.
he just lets
Like
her.
he
Yeah.
sees, because I'm assuming he has cameras everywhere, so he sees Clark get killed and all this stuff, and he kind of just sits back and watches, and I
Hmm.
guess, which I thought was kind of
Yeah. I
interesting.
really thought about that. You definitely saw Clark get eaten, bro.
Yeah,
Probably did.
he was just like, "Oh, that sucks for him."
He was probably also confused, like, why is Clark like not trying to leave? He's like, this dude likes this place. Like,
Yeah,
or like, what's going
maybe
on?
he was trying to like learn more about the backrooms through Clark's experience or something.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it does give room for like sequels because I do think you can. Like, I wish, and again, if he makes another movie and answers some of the questions, but I don't know how I feel about the open end. Like, what are they called? The group called Async or something?
Async, yeah.
Async, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. You can make a movie on like exactly like what have they discovered? What do they know about the back rooms? Like, like are they there to just try to protect the back rooms, or is there like something like valuable in it? Stuff like that. How many people know about the back rooms? Is it like does the government know, or is it like very secretive, where like no one really knows about it? So you definitely touch on another movie about what happens, but I like the ending, of, like, the escaping and the Mary escapes and, like, finds, like, async, but I, I definitely I don't know, I wish they answered more questions, but again, if they make another movie, that's fine, but yeah, I don't really know how I felt about the ending, but we can talk more about do we think Mary,
Questions.
died or is she, like, I
Yeah,
don't know, what happens to her?
yeah.
it was a
I had a
short
lot of
movie too.
questions. It
You know,
was
like
short.
only only an hour 40. He can make like another hour 40 and make it like direct sequel or something to
Yeah.
Yeah,
one big Backrooms movie to explain everything.
yeah. Let's go to that question of what happened to Mary, because the ending scene is her still life or weird creature in the back rooms, and we don't really know if she escaped, if they let her go, if she's dead. or if she's stuck in the back rooms. We don't really know, which I'm assuming that was the point. But do you guys have any theories of what happened to her?
I have no
I don't know.
clue.
Do you guys think she even escaped the back rooms?
I don't know.
Like, what do you like?
What, you don't think that was
Like, she's
real?
still in
This
there.
lab is in the back rooms.
Except that sky looked pretty fake.
Yeah.
I don't
What do you
remember the
mean? Like,
end.
she's still in the back rooms, like with async?
Yeah, Async's positioned in the back rooms.
Look as how like
Yeah,
the furniture
I think
store
there's,
was
I
looked
think
like the
she's still in
furniture
the
store,
back
but then
room.
from the window you saw the room. You think she's still
She
in the back
could
room?
be. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that. Who knows? I don't know.
No,
So
I
you
think
think somewhere in the back rooms, Async has like their little HQ that they
yeah,
have section
Yeah.
of.
I think
What do you
she's
think?
probably. It seemed like she's probably. I can see both ways of like how like she could be allowed to leave, and then like the ending's kind of like now she's just like a memory in the back rooms, kind of like the other people. So I think that's a huge thing is like once you're in the back rooms, you become like a memory. But then the longer, like as time goes on, it fades and it gets less real. So there's a chance she's just a memory in the back rooms, but I could also see like async just like I can't let you go. Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah. I do like your point of like what is Async doing? Because he says like this is one of the biggest like historical findings
Mhm.
ever and stuff. But we're like, are they just trying like what do they want from it?
Yeah, what do they
Is
want?
there
Like, what's
something
the
in there that they're trying to get? Is the
Yeah.
government in on it? Because they keep sending people in, and I'm assuming they keep dying. And they keep the process repeats itself. So yeah, we don't really know. The only thing we know about Async is that they used to be like an MRI company, and then they found this, and then they switched. But we don't
Crazy
know their
switch.
goals, intentions,
Crazy.
anything. So that was really open ended. And yeah, like you said, Ethan, we kind of see a little bit of the guy at the end, but we never really know who he is or his role or what he's doing.
Mhm.
And then he kind of
Yeah.
says like he's like, I've been to the back rooms, and while he's questioning her, but we still don't really know much about him at all. Like, is he high up in there? Like, is he leading it, or we don't really know.
Yeah. Well, he said it wasn't really. Remember when he was like, or she asked, she's like, "What's gonna happen to me?" And he's like, "It's not up to me," or she said
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. So it makes me feel like he's just like an employee. He's not like super high up. Either that or the government's up top and they like handle it. I don't know. But I feel the vibe I got was that the government's not involved. Um, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know if this was Kane Parsons or if this was just like some other backrooms lore or whatever. But I heard from a friend that Async, uh, they wanted to develop infinite storage, like gigabyte like storage and stuff,
Yeah,
But
and that's how they accidentally like made the backrooms, or discovered the backrooms or made it or
discovered.
whatever.
Interesting.
So maybe like that's the big discovery, infinite data somewhere. I don't know.
Interesting.
be really weird. That'd be interesting.
That would be. So let's go to the main question. What even is the backrooms? Like, we don't really know. They don't come out and say, hey, this is the backrooms. We get bits and pieces and infer what it is, but what do you think it's like an alternate reality? Because they say stuff about like fragmented memories and all this stuff. I mean, it seems like there may be, is it all just one big back room, or does each person have their own back rooms and they're all just together? What do you guys think of what even are the back rooms?
I think it's just kind of like I mentioned memories. It seems like it's a bunch of like people's memories compiled together, but because memories are often foggy, that's what leads to that things kind of being off in there. Kind of like you see the people with like the eight eyes or like whatever. So it's what you remember and then kind of gets like sent into the back rooms or gets created in the back rooms.
Yeah. And there was this one scene where it was like showing a room. Like, remember when it was like and this kept going down and down and like it kept getting weirder and weirder. I feel like that kind of was like showing how it happens to the people where like they get remembered, but like almost like it's almost like a game of telephone, where like you tell someone something and they keep telling it. Eventually, it's like nothing like it originally was. Um, I feel like that's kind of how it is, but I think the way I kind of interpret it is like as an alternate reality. Um, but hey, if it's like infinite storage, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I honestly have no clue. I
Do you
have
have a
no
theory, Ryan?
theories.
Or do you agree?
I would agree. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, I can't explain what the back rooms. I don't. I just know. Like, I just picked up on like the memories and how it fades, and that's kind of how things get created in the back rooms. I don't know how it started. I also don't. It's interesting, like how like I assume the people, like the beard guy or whatever, the wheelchair must have been in the back rooms at some point. I think. I don't know, like, if, like, memories can get outside of the, you know what I mean? So I don't know how all that works. But there's
That's a
definitely
good
a lot of
question.
lore behind it. I only watched one YouTube short video or whatever. So I don't know too much of the lore, but there's a lot you can explore. I like Joey's theory. That could make sense.
Infinite. Infinite
Yeah, I
timeline.
wonder if there's like an origin or like if it's just always
It's just
was,
always
you know?
been.
Always there. Yeah. Just always been
Who
there.
knows? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and I like do you for you to become a memory in the back room, do you have to enter the back room or is just everybody have a memory deep down and you only find that when you go in the back room? I don't know.
It's a good
Didn't they
question.
mention something about like a gate or something?
Maybe.
Did that?
Well, there's obviously different entry points because there's the one from his shop and then where
Mhm.
Async
Yeah.
is, if they're outside of the back rooms, which we don't know. Um, but I do think it's interesting. I do think it's a alternate reality that has fragmented memories and fractured memories, and so I think the still lives, those people in the dinner scene, represents fragmented personalities of each person. Because like I think he said like something about memory, but it's not always the full picture or something along those lines. And like I was talking earlier, how the entity is like the bad parts of Clark. But I think an interesting question is like, does each person have their own back rooms? Because we see, like in the beginning, Async's in Clark's back room, and then Clark's obviously in his back room. But I think when Mary is getting chased by Captain Clark, I think she enters her back rooms because, like Ethan said, those houses that come up at the beginning of the movie when she's relaying her childhood and watching them basically destroy her childhood home. But you also can have Mary can be in Clark's back room and Async could be in Clark's back room. So you kind of intertwine, but I think each person has their own, but they intervene in some way. Oh, we lost Ryan.
Ryan's gone. His internet's been acting up.
Sorry.
Um, yeah, I feel like everyone has like almost their own portion, you know, because obviously like why am I forgetting her name? The main lady's name.
Mary.
What's her name? Mary, yeah, Mary. Because she had like multiple rooms, right? Because like she had like all those houses with like different rooms in it. So I feel like everyone maybe has like their own portion, which is interesting. I don't know. I honestly didn't really think about that, but I feel like maybe, bro, I don't know. Maybe the storage thing makes sense. Then everyone gets their own rooms.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of questions
Yeah.
and we don't really know many answers.
Oh,
He's
there he's back.
It's all
Hey.
right.
Nice.
We were just talking if you think each person has their own back room or if that they intertwine and stuff.
Like,
Yeah, I
so,
didn't
like,
theory on that.
like, can, like, Mary go was Mary also Mary was in Clark's back room technically, right? So you're saying, like, is
Yes.
there, like, everyone has their own, or, what do you mean?
Well, I think Mary is in Clark's, but then when she's getting chased by Captain Clark, she enters her back rooms and not
Yeah,
Clark's
I think
because there's a
it's,
lot of
like,
stuff from
it's
Mary's
all
past that
one
shows up.
together, but when Mary enters the back rooms, her memories come part of the back rooms, and then it extends to, like, what her memories are, is what I'm kinda envisioning. So if I were to enter the back rooms,
Gotcha.
my memories, like, my house would get implemented into the back rooms, which then Clark could find. eventually, even though I do think it's infinite space in the back rooms, is what
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it
Yeah,
as.
and it's
Yeah.
that
yeah,
makes sense.
that's interesting because I feel like there's all these rooms I know like they're like almost the same, just like different shapes, like the office building type vibe, and then you have like Clark and Mary's rooms, which are like totally different. It's like the mattress place and
And
like the houses. So maybe all those like empty office type ones are like waiting for other people's memories to come in and like make their own, you know? I don't know. That's kind of just a theory. It's like
Well,
open space. It's like open storage.
yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's confirmed. Like basically, everyone kind of agrees on that. It's all one big like maze of a bunch of rooms. Yeah, I like the theory that like it gets expanded on as people like as more memories are accessed. Like, do you think the Backrooms is alive itself and it like consumes other like memories?
Maybe there's a lot of levels to it.
I know I just came up with that now. I haven't thought about it either. So.
I like it.
Who
I
knows?
feel like it's kind of. I feel like this might be a bad analogy, but I feel like it's kind of like a big like Minecraft server where you have like a bunch of different people and each have their own little sections and build their own houses and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're all living together in the same big and infinite
Like
world.
server, yeah.
But they all have their own little sections and stuff. It's kind of how I picture it.
Funny way to think of it. Yeah.
I like it.
But one of the biggest questions I had was, what the heck was wrong with Mary's mom? Like,
Yeah.
she was weird. Like,
That
did
was
she go
never
in the
explained.
back rooms and then get like traumatized by it? Because it seemed like Mary's house was some sort of
Art.
back room, like you said, Ethan, when
Yeah.
they go down the layers. But she was like, don't look outside. They're coming. Like, they're all out there. And she was like real spooked and weird. And I was like, we don't really know the context, but I don't know if you guys had any theories. Like, was she in the back rooms? Like, why was she weird and kind of scared? And I'm assuming it looked like at the end she went to like a mental hospital. So maybe she was psychotic. I have no idea.
But yeah, I forgot about that.
She was,
Yeah.
I was like, why is she freaking out right now? I didn't really know what was wrong with her.
Yeah. I
wondering
just
if you guys had any
interpreted it
theories.
like I interpreted it basically like it was kind of just like giving her a backstory, like maybe like of a traumatic childhood experience. Like maybe that's why she went into therapy, you know, 'cause she needed therapy herself, to deal with that, you know. So I kind of just thought like maybe that's just like just some of her lore or background of like her character. But I don't know, maybe it's deeper, maybe it's something to do with the back rooms too. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that she either stumbled upon the Backrooms, or if like the theories are talking about async is true and they didn't actually make MRI machines and that was just a cover. She found out what async was doing, and the people that she said are outside were async people watching her house.
Oh, no, that's
It's a
interesting.
good theory.
Yeah.
I
Trying
see
to get
that.
her.
And then she was trying to tell others about the Backrooms. So then async decided to shove her in and make her seem crazy.
Yeah,
How it usually
yeah,
goes.
play the she's psychotic card. Don't listen to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it too. Who knows? It's interesting.
But it also definitely character development, character backstory for her.
Yeah, I think that was probably.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
But I was just wondering, like, why was she
Yeah.
like that? Was it because she stumbled upon the back rooms? Or yeah, maybe it was like maybe async is trying to keep this under wraps so people either don't get scared or don't exploit it or something. And
Well,
she
yeah,
was
they definitely
trying
didn't
to-
want her to leave at the
trying to
end.
leak it.
So
Yeah. So she was trying to leak it and they were not having it.
That would make sense.
But yeah, I thought it was just kind of a weird because she was like, we don't really know anything. And she's like, don't open the window. Like, don't go outside. Like, they're all everywhere. And we were like, what in the world? And then we just see her in like basically like a mental hospital. And then that's pretty much all we get from her. But I thought when, like you said, when we have Mary's room and it keeps going down and more levels into the back rooms, I theorized that maybe she had an encounter with the back rooms and got spooked or something, but was able to get out of there alive. And
Maybe. Yeah. It's interesting.
I wonder if in later movies, if he's going to do like the entities get out of the back rooms and like terrorize like physical Earth.
like
Yeah.
Jumanji or something like that.
Yeah,
It would start getting like goofy, I feel like.
yeah,
Fire Clark, Roman, New York City.
yeah. That would be. Yeah, like somehow they like reverse the gateway to. But do the entities? I'm assuming they don't know that you can just walk in there, because I would feel like I would try to get out. But maybe if
Yeah,
they
I
do,
would
they die or something.
maybe not. I don't know.
I was trying to figure out how like sentient they are, you know, because I remember like obviously like Pirate Clark is like the big dog, you know, because they have that, remember that like painting on the wall where it's like him like holding like
Yeah,
playing with everyone
yeah,
like puppets or something. Um, so I saw that. So he's like the big dog, you know. But like then the girl, I remember he's like, "Can you turn the switch on?" She doesn't do anything. I'm like, "Oh, she's like brain dead, essentially. Like she doesn't really have
Yeah,
a brain. She's just like she just is." But then the dude with the lamp turned the lamp on. I'm like, wait, so he has some kind of cognitive function, you know? But then the
and
dude
they,
with the beard is just sitting there letting him get eaten. So I'm like, I don't
yeah, he
know.
did nothing.
I don't know like what the sentient level is of these people, but I don't know. Maybe it depends on like how foggy the memory is, you know? I don't know.
Like what layer they're in.
Yeah, like
yeah,
Maybe
maybe
at
it's
layer
like
1, they're more sentient. As you go down, they get more.
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Maybe how strong of emotion like that memory holds. Because like Pirate Clark, that's from like a super embarrassing time in Clark's life because he like sat on the chair and it broke while filming the commercial, and he did all that and didn't save his business.
Yeah. Can we talk about how no one in the entire movie walked into that store? Like not a single person was
I
just in
know.
the
Is
back
that it?
row
How
of
Yeah.
that
is
store.
Just like that was
Yeah.
probably the most realistic part of the movie. You know, it's like a massive fight.
Not a single person was in
No
that
one goes
store.
to those.
Dude, no business at all.
His employees are probably doing pretty well though. They're probably getting paid before they died, obviously, but getting paid hourly to do nothing because no
Do
one's
nothing.
showing up. Probably
Dude,
bored.
I don't know like why he thought that was a good idea to open that store, bro.
Yeah, it's like no one was even there. And then of course his bill was like enormous because of all the lights. And he was sleeping there. Like he didn't
Yeah,
even
that
have
was
any
weird.
sort of house.
Like,
He
I
was
don't know.
just
Sleep
sleeping
there by
in.
himself.
It wasn't even like a bed in the closet. It was just like a bed he'd be selling the next day.
Yeah.
And bro's just
Oh,
sleeping
he
there the
definitely
day
wouldn't be selling it
before.
though.
Yeah.
Not with any
Yeah.
customers.
I mean, yeah, hypothetically, yeah.
Yeah. Also, what furniture store has a basement that has like 5 things in the bottom of it? Like there was nothing in that
Yeah.
basement at all.
Dude, that store
Yeah.
itself was the Backrooms, bro.
Dollar
That was
Tree.
it.
I would, bro. If I walked
Yeah.
into a store like that, actually after watching the Backrooms, I'd be like, I ain't risking it. I'm out.
Yeah, no wonder the Backrooms portal was there, bro. You're practically in the Backrooms already. I think that place is
Well,
crazy.
I think that's what the back rooms are like started off as, is like, you know, empty malls and
Yeah,
doctors,
Well,
waiting
it was
offices, empty
no,
convenience stores and
yeah,
stuff like that.
because the original photo I think is of a furniture store in like Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like an
That's-
homage to the OG
Yeah,
Backrooms.
that probably
Yeah.
was.
It's really crazy how far like just like internet culture just like brought this, you know, just like meme
Yeah.
culture essentially it was a meme, like, and now it's like a movie. It's funny.
Yeah, and then it became
Like creepypasta or like something like that.
Yeah, like
But yeah,
like Slenderman.
yeah, I
or something.
just looked it up. Yeah, it was a abandoned furniture store. So maybe it was just like
Looks so
maybe
creepy.
that's why I kind of felt Backrooms like because it was.
I got a few more questions. This isn't pertaining really towards the movie, but more towards Kane as a director. With obviously him and Curry Barker, like we said at the beginning, coming from like YouTube and TikTok and stuff, do you think, I don't know if you guys have an answer for this, but do you think like young filmmakers are going to kind of take that route more now? Because it's really easy for you to pick up your phone and record a video on TikTok or YouTube and go with it. And I think with both of these movies being pretty big box office successes, I mean, Obsession is, I think, crossed like 200 million or something.
Yeah, 250.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on an absurd pace right now. But you guys might not have an answer for it, but I was just curious if this is the new way to get into maybe like making movies, because it's worked both of these times.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there's been an industry shift a little bit, especially with this year, because I mean we got Obsession and Backrooms, but we also don't forget about Iron Lung in January. That was made by Markiplier, another YouTuber, and that was I think like second at the box office, because you see all these like big budget movies like Star Wars and just like absolutely bombing at the box office, losing millions, and you got these low budget movies from these YouTubers, and like they're killing it.
What do you mean, though? That's what we
Yeah.
need. It's original ideas.
Original ideas, exactly.
Yeah, like, I feel like, dude, the industry right now is, like, in such like, you just get so many sequels, like, no original ideas anymore. Like, people are just milking original ideas from, like, 20 years ago, and I feel like, bro, having, like, people come from YouTube and TikTok or whatever, like, bringing, like, a fresh mind, because I feel like before the internet and, like, YouTube and stuff, like, you really had to know someone, like, in the to get in the film industry and, like, make movies, but, like, now you get to display your content for like free on YouTube. Like people can see it. I mean, like Kane Parsons like Backrooms video had like over 100 million views, I'm pretty sure. Um so like it's just such a cool way to get like your filmography out there just for like short films and stuff. Like there's so many good short films on on YouTube. So I think it's just like I feel yeah, like um I think Ryan was saying or Joey was it's like kind of like a shift in the industry, you know, where like anyone can make a movie now, like as long as you have like good ideas and like actual talent, you know? It's not just like I think it's good, it's promising, like we're not just gonna get like slop anymore, just like sequels. It's exciting, but yeah.
Nah, I would agree. I don't see why not. I feel like if I was someone trying to become a film director, I think it's a great route to go to, especially seeing these two um, go like big time now. Because what Ethan said, like usually it is you need to know someone to kind of get into the film industry. It kind of seems tough to make your way up, but you can post YouTube videos, TikToks for free, and I mean, Kane Parsons' video got like what 100 million views, so it's a great way to make to get like into the movie industry. So I feel like we'll see more of that. And I do think it'll be exciting. To go at Ethan's point, new new ideas, new movies coming out that from directors that we never heard of before, and be like, oh, this is cool, instead of just like sequels, a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, we got to tell Benji to get on the start
I was
making
gonna
YouTube
say,
videos.
Benji
Get him on
can
the letter.
are making some YouTube
Um,
videos,
Start
and
making
you come
YouTube
down.
videos.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
I would do.
But I do think it's really good that you know they're taking chances on these younger guys and just giving them money and that it's paying off, because I do think people get tired of watching sequels all the time or watching all these big IPs kind of just put put quantity over quality, like Marvel's been doing and all that. And I mean, Mandalorian and Grogu didn't do as well as I'm sure Disney thought, because they got outdone by two guys 25 and younger making independent horror movies. So they're probably not happy about that. But I do think it's a good shift, and I hope that it continues, just taking chances on guys who seem like they have potential and giving them that platform and just to really, succeed or fail. And I think both of these movies are been box office hits, and I think have been really good. And Obsession obviously has been the biggest one. I think it's what are we almost 3 or 4 weeks in, and it's still climbing, which is nuts. And so yeah, I think it's really good for the film industry, and I hope that this kind of people start taking more chances like this on young people who seem to have some potential. My last question for you guys: if you guys are in the back rooms, what are you doing? Are you you can't leave. Like you can't just be like, nah, heck no, I'm getting out of here. Like, are you trying to fight it? You trying to bring in something to try to fight it, or are you just exploring? Or how are you surviving the back rooms?
Well, first you got to find some food. So find one
Yeah,
of
I
those
was about to
still lives
Yeah,
and
you gotta find the
eat those people, bro.
People.
Dude, I'd probably just hide in one of those like vents or something.
yeah.
just
Well, depends what
aimlessly
entity's there.
run.
If it's
If there's
just
no way
Park
I'm
Park,
getting
I
out,
think
I don't even
we're
know. Like,
chilling.
I guess like I'd probably get bored after a while. I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna explore. I don't know, I'm bored. But for a bit, I'd probably hide. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would. I don't think I would survive. Like, I probably would die right away. But I would probably go into fight mode. Probably, I don't know, try to find weapons. Like, I don't know, maybe like sharpen like one of the bottom of like the chairs or whatever, and just be like, "Ah, let's see what I can do. Maybe I can try to um kill whatever's in there." But I don't think I could explore. I would be so scared of like the unknown of what's in the next room. I'd probably just stay in like the main room and just camp out, and I'll probably just pray that I don't know, async will come get me. I don't. I don't think I'm surviving
They might
it.
kill you, bro. Then you know too much.
Yeah.
Eight.
You're gonna be at. Would you rather be imprisoned in the back rooms or imprisoned at async? Maybe that's the same thing. We right,
It
you
could
know,
be
async in the
something.
back rooms. Yeah.
Async. I'll take async any day, bro. Backrooms? Oh,
I'll take ace.
Well,
yeah.
let's say you can get out, but you have to go pretty deep in the back rooms to get out. Let's say us four are in the back rooms. You think how long are we lasting?
Who's dying first?
The four of
Dude.
us,
Dude,
the four
I
of
feel
us are going and trying to
we could do
get
it.
out of there.
I think I was
We could
I
do
was talking to my friends after we watched it. It would be less scary if you had a big group with you and you're like, all right, let's see if we can get out of here. If I was by myself, I just think I would mentally I couldn't handle it. But if it was us four, I would give us a shot. I would give it a shot to see what we could do. I don't know. It'd be fun. Like I know there's a bunch of games now that you can play to try to escape.
Yeah, we got to play the like Backrooms Fortnite or something.
Yeah,
all of us.
it's cool. It's a great.
Call Dirty Dan.
Backrooms
Call
with the
Dirty
boys
Dan
can
and
be
have
kind
a
of fun.
Get out of the back room.
Well, so
You're
do
just
we
like-
only have to kill? Do we only have to kill Captain Clark and we're good, or is like after we
Wait.
kill him, there's like more?
Do
That's
you
a
know
good
how many
point.
entities are there in there?
Yeah.
Is it just
Yeah,
Captain
right.
Clark or are there other ones?
Yeah, maybe
In the
Captain Clark,
movie-
like, just not even up. Maybe he's just like the
Yeah,
little
maybe
dog.
he's like a
maybe.
lower ranked entity, and he's
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's like Vecna in the Mind Flayer.
Yeah,
know?
it's like
He's
Vecna.
like-
That's what it's gonna be like.
the
There's something
Demogorgon.
we don't know about yet.
Dude, I
yeah,
guess
you
we'll
think
see in the
it's bad,
sequel,
but
huh?
It gets worse. Because it doesn't
That'd be
seem
pretty
like the
cool. I would
still
like that. That'd be
lifes
pretty
were-
cool.
That
If
would be
there's just like
cool.
a big villain entity that
Yeah.
kind of runs the whole back rooms.
It's
I like
async.
that. Yeah.
Async's the main
Or
villain.
maybe
or
it's
something like that.
async that's making
Asyncs.
entities.
They
That could
have
be-
like the
Still
entity
need to
maker or
see
something.
that.
Asyncs like Vecna, you know that he came in human form, but he was actually
Yeah,
like,
it could be.
Yeah, it could be. That's why that one dude with the glasses is so mysterious. The
Yeah,
async worker.
he's the real villain.
He's the real villain.
Dude, something's
Yeah,
up.
because if all we have to do is kill Captain Clark and we have the four of us, I think we could probably be
We probably
okay.
do. I mean, Mary
Yeah.
did it. All right,
Mary
She
did it
some
by herself.
damage to
High,
him,
but
yeah.
you
She
got
did
him.
some
Well, she did.
I
She,
feel like-
she did have the assist though from async. With the,
Yeah, that's true.
Smoke.
True.
Well,
Yeah,
I feel like
smoke.
we'd be okay. But if we like got through him and then had to go through like 10 or 20 more people to get out, I think that might be especially if he like you guys said, if he's like the lowest ranked and then it keeps getting harder as you. But that would be interesting.
I probably would have, if I was Clark also thinking back on it. I know he didn't find anything bad yet, but when he went back, I probably would have brought a weapon. If I was saying.
safe.
Just
Or a
the
flashlight.
unknown, like, I don't know, like,
Flag.
yeah, like a Glock would have been nice to just bring in. Like, I mean, especially if it's like you legally could carry it. Like, I'd just be like, yo, let's just bring one in just in case. That would have been
Just bring,
useful.
like, a
That would have been
giant sword
smart,
or
yeah.
something.
Could've
Yeah, he
helped
just
him
led
out.
those people. Yeah, I'm sure the employers were like, we're not going to bring a weapon or anything in here. He's like, no, we're
It's-
chill.
We're
We're fine.
chilling.
it's just the camera's research. There's no need
Yeah,
for
it's
the
just,
weapon.
it's just
Yeah,
research.
yeah.
What
Just
else do
research,
need to
you know?
Yeah,
But
it
he
is the
also
camera,
probably
man.
thought that it was just like
nothing was going to
storage and just like we never
Well, he.
like at it. I probably would. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. He heard something though. And
Yeah,
he
I
was
feel like
That's
if
what
I
he
heard
heard it.
something, I
He
would have
heard
been
Yeah.
something. So at that point, I'd be like, "There's someone in here," and they're not answering. I'd probably think something bad. Bring a gun.
Yeah, well, he was
Well,
definitely
yeah.
suspicious because otherwise he would have just taken the camera by himself. If he was
Yeah,
100%, there's
he
nothing
needed
in
some
there.
help.
Yeah, he needed some body
Yeah.
shields. That's what he
I
needed.
would
Yeah.
have been sus.
So that we're
Maybe-
doing. We all four of us go in the back rooms. We just shove Ryan ahead.
Take the
Yeah.
fall.
Miss him back.
If we hear him screaming, we know where the Captain Clark is.
Dude, if we all had guns, bro, we're making it out.
We're making it out easily. I'm going.
He's
Yeah.
GG's. GG's. Maybe we need to run Fortnite backrooms to see how long.
That'd be
we
cool.
can
Well, that's what I'm
just
saying.
Bring a
Dude,
pump
that's-
shotgun. It's over.
Yeah, double pump. It's dude, he's
Double
cooked.
pump. Yeah, no chance. I'm
Hit a
ripping
quick old
through
no
that.
scope on Captain Clark.
Oh yeah, it's no chance. All right. Anything else, guys?
Wait, we got to touch on. So, the beginning of the movie, it was Captain Clark as the entity, right?
I
Yeah.
believe so. Yes.
I guess so.
Why-
Yeah, I did.
How does that work? I'm confused. You might not know, but
Well, so I think they're in Clark's. I think it's kind of like how Mary is able to enter Clark's Backrooms, Async was able to enter Clark's Backrooms, and then they just unluckily.
But
I think it means because Clark rooms. Yeah,
I don't think it was like Clark's Backroom. So I think the character of Howard Clark got formed when he filmed that commercial. And it was like so embarrassing that like he wanted to forget about it, but the Backrooms captured it because he was already living in the store for a while.
So okay, I can see that how it's so close. Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Either that or you don't have to be in the back rooms for it to happen.
Or you maybe don't have to be in the back rooms for them to get memories of you. I thought that's what you needed, so I don't know. Maybe you don't.
I'm not sure.
Well, I think confirm that the opening scene was like years before. Did it say that? I don't remember. Or do we know? Because it could be.
Either,
what if it was just like a scene of like it could have been while Clark was in it. One of the async guys was still exploring and died from Captain Clark.
Yeah, it could be.
That's a possibility.
I don't remember.
Did it say 3 years? I didn't see that.
I see that. So maybe
you guys said it, so I just.
It could have been after Clark was already in the back rooms. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
Looking it up on Google.
People say it took place in 1996.
I didn't even realize the movie took place that long ago.
No, the footage at the beginning.
I was always said
footage at the beginning.
Oh wait, 1991.
And was the movie present like 2026 or was it?
I thought
I don't know.
It was 1990, but I could.
Yeah, it says 1990.
So maybe it happened after.
Maybe it happened after. That would make sense. I would.
Yeah, maybe it happened after. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
That's probably what it was. And that makes
because maybe Clark going into the back rooms awoke or unlocked the Clark entity, and then when he left, the Captain Clark kept doing his thing and kept terrorizing people who walked in. That would probably.
It would make sense. Well, I guess we saw Pirate Clark's dead body though, or like his body on the table.
Die.
But we saw the body on the table.
Did we?
Yeah, at the end, the X-rays.
He was on the table. Yeah, didn't they take him out or something? Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he was dead.
I thought that was Mary.
No, it looks like it was him. It was like huge.
They had an X-ray of him.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah,
I thought he didn't escape the back room because he tried to reach through and he couldn't get out, and then she left. So I just assumed he was hurt, but he was still walking around in there.
They could have gone in there and just got him. Who knows? I don't know.
They should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, for real.
Maybe because he was weakened. I don't know.
I mean, the backrooms are so big, they probably just couldn't find him.
Couldn't find him. Yeah.
People are theorizing that Pirate Clark, when he kind of, how he's kind of dead, he comes back as the stick figure you're talking about, and that's what's left of him.
What?
Look at that.
That's interesting. You see it? They're both tall.
Yeah, both tall and gangly. But yeah, lots of questions and theories that we probably won't really know the answer unless they make another one, or I'm sure Kane Parsons has probably done some interviews where he answers some of our questions. But overall, I think all of us are in agreement that the movie is pretty good. We all rate it the same, and definitely worth a watch if you like horror movies, and even if you don't, we don't really like horror movies, but we watched it anyway, so, and we don't really regret it. But thank you all for hopping in. It was fun talking about the movie, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Maybe Disclosure Day comes out this weekend. Maybe
that's what I was saying. It comes out Friday. We need to do it.
Steven Spielberg is back, baby.
Dude, I'm excited for that one.
Good. Hopefully Benji can go on because he's been.
Are the reviews out yet?
I don't think so. They probably come out tomorrow because Thursday
comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, 83 is tomorrow. It's sitting at 83 right now on Rotten Tomatoes. Certified fresh.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
Pretty good. It's still definitely changed, but
yeah. Hopefully Benji joins because he watched. He was on a Spielberg marathon for a while there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But thank you all for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.